everybody, welcome back to the Royal Glow Up Realm. I'm Sarah Luna, and today I would like to talk to you guys about trust and faith. I am somebody that pretty much grew up on the water, especially in the summertime. My grandparents had a lakeside property, and we always spent holidays here, family gatherings, just fun times, right, throughout the summer and throughout the year. And one thing that happened while, my grandparents had this property is, continuously the lake would go through dry spells where it would dry up for a while. And, after they passed, the property was left to the family, right? And I had been living there after they had passed for some time, and this was back in 2015, okay? 10 years ago. Well, why am I talking about something that happened 10 years ago? You guys might think that I'm just over here reminiscing and just sitting here thinking about old memories, but I have a purpose for telling you this. So, over the years, watching this lake dry up and then fill up a little bit again and dry up, you thought it was the norm, right? Well, one summer, and it was the summer of 2015, the lake dried up almost completely. And I mean, it was gone. It was literally a puddle, okay? And what had happened is I was looking out in the backyard, which was the lake, but it was all dried up. And I was just thinking, man, wouldn't it be nice if this just came back, right? And I was sitting there thinking, and something told me, hey, Sarah, keep having faith. Keep believing, because one day that dream might become a reality. Well, you guys are going to flip out when you hear this, because I literally watched this lake fill up from a completely dry puddle all the way to a fully functioning lake that was over capacity in 3 days. 3 days, okay? That is faith. Now, I don't want you to get the impression that I'm over here saying, hey, I did this. No. That was God. That was all God. But the point of me telling you this is the fact that I had faith helped so much. And the other people that lived on the lake, they believed too. I would hear people talk all the time. I've been praying for rain. I've been praying for rain. I've been praying for rain. And that's what I started doing as well. And, lo and behold, after so long of the lake being dried up, it really filled up again, guys. This is a true story. This is not just something I'm making up. This is something that I watched from my backyard. The third day came around and I'm sitting there thinking, is it gonna stop raining? It was wonderful to watch that come back. So the whole point of me talking about faith and trust, right, is sometimes in life, you just have to believe. Sometimes there's no other choice but to believe. You always have a choice, either believe or don't. But belief is always the better option. I spent a lot of time with people on boats on this lake, when I was younger. And one thing that I noticed was the sailors, or I guess you could call them boaters, because they weren't really sailboats, but I guess boat operators, there we go, because they were all motorboats. The boat operators, they always had faith. And it wasn't just because they had enough gas in the boat, okay? They had faith because, not only did they know what they were doing, but they trusted God, pretty much with their life out there on the water, going 50, 60 miles an hour, sometimes more on the water. You really got to, A, know what you're doing, and B, have a lot of faith, And it's hard to trust sometimes. It's hard to have faith. It's hard to believe. When everything staring in your face looks like a dried up, dark, dismal puddle, it's hard to have faith, literally. But sometimes you just need to believe anyway. And I have a Bible verse that goes with this word today. And it is John 3:8. The wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it is going. So it is with everyone born of the Spirit. So you can interpret that verse however you like. However, here is something that I like to think about when I read that verse. When you trust the wind and you just wait for life to unfold in its grand divine timing, whenever God wants things to happen, life tends to go a lot more smoothly. It's one of the best feelings in the world when you can just trust and know that things are going to go right. And then you see evidence in your life of things actually going right. And then you're like, whoa, I believed. It's really happening. And that's how I felt when I watched that lake fill up from nothing. So here's my final thoughts on belief and faith. Just trust where you're at in life. Trust that you're going where you need to go. Make any necessary changes. And know that you're going to be okay. Just like the wind, you're going to blow wherever you please. And wherever you end up blossoming and growing, just like a flower, that's where you're meant to be, and that's where your purpose lies. Remember to have faith, because it's so much better than the alternative. Non-belief just introduces so much more negativity in your life that you don't need. Thanks for coming to my video today. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one, Royal Realm. Take care.